What's going on, everybody? You don't see me on the video, but this is Warren Dews, the publisher of the Upstater and the Ravenna News Herald, the Greenville Pioneer, and the Columbia Paper. As you know, we do something called the Community Conversations, and we do something called Get to Know, Ask the Expert, and Meet Your Neighbor. Today, we're doing a Get to Know. I'm here with my friend Jesse. What's going on, Jesse?
How are you doing, everybody?
So, Jesse, this is actually under Jesse's umbrella. Jesse's doing Get to Knows. He's one of our advertisers, and he decided to take his Get to Knows on the road, where he wanted to sit down and talk to people that sell his merchandise, which is pretty cool. And so, Jesse, I'm gonna leave the floor to you. It's your place to start talking now.
Sure. Well, I just want to say, everyone, thanks for taking the time out of your day to watch me talk about New Scotland Spirits. And I'm here with my man Steve. Steve is the proprietor of Rail to River Brewing in the village of Ravenna. So I grew up outside of the village of Voorheesville, which is the sole incorporated village in the town of New Scotland, for which my New Scotland Spirits are named. And one of the things that was really exciting about starting this company, New Scotland Spirits, is that I wanted to, I guess, honor, celebrate, and educate about the town that has created so much of my identity. Right? New Scotland Spirits originally began as a project that sourced grain from the farms in the town of New Scotland and then distilled them into what you see behind me right now, which is our new vodka, our bourbon, our rye whiskey, and our winter wheat whiskey. So the interesting thing, and why we're here at Rail to River, is at Rail to River Brewing, for those people who are interested in the more aggressive of the alcohol products, the spirits, Steve sells them here. And as just a final thought about kind of the New Scotland Spirits project in general, New Scotland Spirits also has enabled me not just to kind of celebrate the community from which I hail, but also to learn about the community around my community, the larger upstate New York area. It's been an incredibly rewarding experience going around to some of these jurisdictions that I was aware of because I drove by them on the highway, but really hadn't become a part of yet. And thanks to places like Rail to River that are taking my products in behind the bar, I've actually developed a real relationship with Steve or the people of the village of Ravenna right to the south of New Scotland.
So, Steve, tell us more about you. I mean, why are you selling his products here?
Well, first of all, thank you to everybody. Met Jesse, had to be a couple of years ago.
Like 18 months ago.
We're both ex-military, former military, I should say, and we started talking, and he said he was starting this business venture called New Scotland Spirits. And me not being a spirit guy, I'm a beer guy, obviously.
Right.
We chit-chatted a little bit, and we decided that we were going to carry some of his product, and then we're glad that we did. We've only been around a couple of years now, and I was going to be strictly a beer guy, but I thought, you know what, this is a great opportunity to promote another entrepreneur from the local area, and put his product out, and it's been taking off. So I'm definitely glad this is happening.
Well, it's really cool to see that there are people who come in here, but then embrace New Scotland Spirits. They're advertised prominently on the board. What's actually interesting is, if I remember correctly, like, you met at my house. Like, you came up at Albany.
I got my first bottles of
that's right,
New Scotland Spirits. Yes.
I think Warren. One of the things that's cool about this is it is a really tight knit craft beverage community. So he's the brewing side, I'm the distilling side. But if my memory serves me correctly, obviously we're always looking for places that are going to sell our wares. He reached out to us, I guess wanted to offer or augment the selection for people that come to Rail to River Brewing, and he came up to my new digs on Lark Street in Albany, and that's where we made that first transaction. That first sale was right in my living room, and that's where I really met Steve. And in that time, we were here I think a week ago doing a re-up.
Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, he's clearly patrons in and around this area are taking a chance on our New Scotland Spirits, and it's thanks to a fellow member of this craft beverage community to make that opportunity happen.
Well, what I love and what I really, really love is this: is that I'm talking to two people that are entrepreneurs that from this community, and as the newspaper, as the media person, I'm here to help you connect. And that's what I enjoy.
Yep.
So why do you think it's important to really patronize and to work with local people like him?
I could talk for 7 hours on that.
You really can't. You couldn't get it out.
Again, we're both small business people, and a lot of times it's word of mouth because I have no big advertising budget. So the only real way I can get New Scotland Spirits out is to have it in my place and say, hey, come on and try this. This is what we're carrying. I have a Facebook page. I put it out there on the Facebook page. The preacher was very happy to have New Scotland Spirits on board, and I think that's probably a better way to get that word out that New Scotland Spirits is here is to just say to people, come on and try this, you're going to like it.
I also think, for what it's worth, there's like an imperative when it comes to working with small businesses. The first thing I'd say is that it's my only option. A lot of these big corporations, they don't have the personnel or the channel to even give me a shot, right? And the thing is that when I'm working with Steve, I'm working with another entrepreneur in the community that is returning the dollars that he makes to the community in the form of taxes. And that's not insubstantial. And trust me, I pay a lot in taxes. Number one. Number two, we're hiring, right? We're hiring from the community. So to the extent that I'm, here helping to promote Rail to River, or my spirits are on the board there, and he's helping to promote New Scotland Spirits, what we're doing is developing a way for the community to engage the community in a manner that maintains dollars in that community, right? Supports local nonprofits. Last year, we supported 31 nonprofit and charitable causes, but we're also paying employees that derive from the community. I'm sure by definition you are as well. And then, they're paying taxes and that money's going to the community. It's part of you cannot have a vibrant village, town, or city without small businesses. Don't get me wrong, I love going to Walmart because I can buy for relatively cheap whatever I want. But I'm not an idiot. I know that by putting money there, I'm essentially, in a way, paying an extra cost. I'm paying an extra tax in the form that money is not staying in my community. I'm not trying to talk smack about Walmart. I am, however, going to talk smack about some of these larger retailers that don't have time for me, right? Clearly, if I may, this is a popular brand. My biggest issue is not how do I get people to buy my spirits, it's how do I keep up with demand. But that demand is coming from the local small towns in upstate New York that have embraced us. So it's not even just a function, your question is, why is it important to work with small businesses? The way I'd say it is, small businesses are the only enterprises that work with me. And without a guy like Steve and Rail to River Brewing, that's one fewer retailer outlet where you're not going to be able to get my spirits. And if he didn't exist here, in many ways, I might not exist. And if I'm not existing, well, then there is an employer for your kids, and it's Walmart. I think that there's something about, a community is a function of three things, if you ask me. And you and I have talked about this a little bit, but a community is a function of its local newspaper, of its local school, and its local businesses. That's it. You can throw some other stuff in there, a library, veterinary clinic, whatever you want. Those three things, business, education, media, if you've got a local area that has those three things unique to it, that community is able to experience itself, and that's part of what the New Scotland Spirits mission set,
So getting back to Rail to River, number one, what are your hours? People can come here when and how and all of this stuff. And how long you been around?
It'll be 2.5 years. We opened 2021, day after Thanksgiving. So our hours are Thursday through Friday, 4 to 9, Saturday, 1 to 9, Sunday, 1 to 6.
Awesome. And where can people find your wares?
Number one, Rail to River. Right, Rail to River. So you guys are a farm brewer, right?
Yes.
So at Rail to River, you can actually try the spirits, right? You can do a little cocktail, or you can try it straight, flight, whatever you might want to try. Or because he is a farm brewer, you can buy our bottles here to the extent that you want. That's one of the benefits of being one of these farm artisans. Or in Ravenna, you can go right up the street to Southgate Wine and Liquor. It might just be Southgate Liquors now that I think about it. But you can buy our stuff at that retailer, or you can go to the Halfway House Tavern right down the street from here. That's another in Ravenna retailer that supports us. Or, as of the 31st of May, coming up, you'll be able to come to Lark Street on Albany to the New Scotland Spirits Tasting Room, which will not just have, obviously, our whole flight of spirits, but which will also be carrying rail to river products.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Cool?
Before we go, because I don't understand this, and I want to make sure other people understand. You said something about because he's a farm. Explain that to me.
I'll take a stab at this, and then correct me if I'm wrong. So, I'm a farm distiller. He's a farm brewer, and those are distinctions that are under the purview of the New York State Liquor Authority, pursuant to statutes that essentially were designed to support New York's agricultural community. They wanted to support farms, and so for me, all of what you see here, right? Every drop in this bottle, that's distilled from New York State corn in this bourbon. Little rye, little barley. This is a 100% wheat. That's all wheat grown in the state of New York. We don't import our alcohol from Indiana. The objective is, and I'm sure this is you as well, is to use ingredients that were grown on the very fields that we grew up on.
Awesome.
The very fields that in New York are our hometown. And that's what's cool about it. So, when you look to a broken clock is right twice a day, and every now and then the legislature knocks it out of the park. They did so with the farm winery, farm distillery, farm brewery, farm cidery legislation designed to support local farms by giving them access to another way of monetizing their crops.
And that's the same thing for you.
Yeah, if I have to use a certain percentage of the barley grown in New York, my hops, also a certain percentage that have to be grown in New York, and I actually use the bulk of my malted barley comes from a company that's based in Latham, and they malt it right there in their own malting house.
Is that Convergence?
Convergence,
Yeah,
correct. Yep. So,
Awesome.
yeah, so we have a relationship with another New York-based company that helps supply our businesses.
So Jesse, back to you. Wrapping this up, how can people get in touch with you again?
Yeah, the best way, I'll say it. I mean, we built this company in many ways on social media. If people want to get in touch with us, find us on Instagram, New Scotland Spirits. We're also on Facebook, New Scotland Spirits. I'm just not cool enough really to have a presence on X, Twitter, or TikTok yet, but we'll get there once I find some, adolescents to manage those accounts. And otherwise, our website, right, those old websites that the kids don't use anymore, it has a list of all of our retailers, so that if you're in one of 21 counties out of New York's 62 counties, we're there. And the objective, for me, success is I want to be in every small business with a on or off premises liquor license, as they're called, in all 62 counties within the next decade. That's my objective, because I just love New York's small business entrepreneurs.
Well, number one, I appreciate you, because this was about you, and you came in here and took one of your people that's buying your product and put the spotlight on them. So I definitely appreciate that. Next week, I don't know if you know this, but next week we'll be probably at the Wire. And
Perfect. We're there too.
Yeah. We'll be there because of you.
Awesome.
Yeah. So we'll be there because of you. So we appreciate you. We thank you so much. Mm-hmm. And once again, everybody, this is Warren Dews, publisher of the Upstater.
Thank you.
And this is a get to know, and hopefully you got to learn some stuff. But please, people, realize if you want to help your community, spend your dollars here. The dollar that's being spent here stays in the market a long time.
Yep.
It doesn't go out of the market for a while. So. All right, thank you so much.